Hello there. I am so glad that you're here with me. As you will see when my guest tonight comes on, it is not Lori Dorsey. She was having some technical difficulties, and apparently I have been too, but we're still giving it a go. But I have one of the best guests to fill in for Lori, and she's going to love seeing him too, is my best guy friend. I am so excited to welcome Rick McCollum back here, and I'm going to tell you he's a hero, and I will tell you why in a minute. But hello, Rick.
Hello,
Hey,
Kat.
I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
But and thank you,
You're welcome.
because I know this was like a oh we got to go kind of a thing, and I've got to get me one of those Tams because you can do anything with that. I love it. So it allows you to go in 5 minutes.
Four if you're really in a hurry.
Well, you were zooming because you beat me back in here.
I even made my
So,
bed in time.
wow, that's pretty good.
It's got enough lumps
And
in there. I
it's,
wonder what's under there.
ooh, I'm not even going to ask. I'm
It's
not.
probably
I just,
probably a
some,
puppy.
some things it's better just not to know.
I agree.
So, well, how are you?
Doing okay. It's about 100 degrees in here, so I got the fan blowing behind me.
It's pretty good because I don't hear it. I've
It's
got
a
a
good
fan
fan.
circulating up there too. So, because it is almost 100 degrees here, but just not in my house right now. And I moved from one room to the other, and I took over the playroom and made it a actual office because everybody's big enough not to need a crib if they come spend the night with me. So they've got their room and I've got my office.
You do know that there's an alien right behind you.
Yeah, but he's friendly.
Okay.
So he doesn't scare me too bad, mostly. But there are those moments.
He's pretty cool looking.
Yeah. He is he's pretty much I can't see him. Yeah.
But you're in the way of him now.
Well,
There you
yeah.
go. There he is.
But I am just really, Lori and I were going to talk about investigations and we were going to talk about this, that, and the other. And somebody that's been all the investigations I've ever done in Scotland, at least, is you. But people always hear us talk about Scotland. You've investigated everywhere, all over the world, well, the globe.
Well, not everywhere, but quite a few places.
Yeah.
Actually, I have investigated in Switzerland, Australia, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, Canada, Scotland, England, and Ireland.
Well, I wanted to ask you, um, uh-oh, because for those that don't know, I am having a real, moment here with my stuff. So, but generally I do pretty good, even with that. I just can't see me, so I don't know what my background looks like or what I look like. If I look weird, just let me know. But because I want to investigate in England so badly, and one of my friends lives in Kent, in Broadstairs by the Sea, which is the last English town that the train goes through to go under the channel to France. And she's like, you need to come here because they have tunnels and stuff that were hidey holes during the war, and places where Churchill came and spoke to the troops as they were setting sail, and the women's, what is the name of that organization? Um, Good Lord. But
The
anyway, the
Girl
women's,
Scouts.
No, it's women's. It's the women's organization in England that does so much good, and they they do everything. But they're very active in keeping the history of the the country alive, of all of the people that did D-Day and who went across and got the troops back, the people that sailed from Dover. And, you know, she's like, there's all kinds of stuff here. You should really come investigate. And she's a sensitive too, so she would know. But she tells me about all these things, and I'm like, we got to go there. So we got to go there because
Well, let's go.
David's not going out of the country. So, but the town, it's got such a quaint name. It's called Bristol by the Sea, and I'm pretty sure that's the name of it off the top of my head. But it's just really, I'd like to investigate because of that history. I don't really want to investigate in London. I don't want to experience what people felt during the bombings, the Blitz and stuff. But I would like to experience the positive side of their history. What do you think?
Well, I'd be okay with that. It's just that I don't want to go with you anywhere where you can get shot or hit in the head or anything
No,
like that.
no, we do not want to do that
Seen enough of that.
because, yeah, I was so tickled because our friends with Highland Paranormal were talking about a location that they had checked out, and Liam was like, and there's a lot of Culloden history relevant to that. I said, I would hesitate to go in there. I would
I would
just,
think so.
and he
By
said,
the
yeah,
way,
we,
in case nobody knows what we're talking about, because we're two friends and just talking, when we went to Culloden Battlefield in Scotland, Kat was
very
standing next to
emotional.
me. Yeah, Kat was standing next to me, and all of a sudden she just grabbed her stomach and bent over. She goes, "Oh!" I said, "What's wrong?" She goes, "I feel like somebody shot me."
It's exactly
So,
what it felt like.
and then the other time we were in the Writers Museum, and it looked like all of a sudden like somebody banged her in the head.
Because somebody banged her in the head. Well,
Yeah.
Lori is who noticed it because I'm sitting there and she looked at me and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Meanwhile, I feel like I got hit by a golf club. And I said, "Why?" She said, "Because you are so pale. And, what are you going to do? You have to keep on." And so I asked the other cat, our guide, if anyone had died from a head injury. And she said, "Well, actually, yes, they did. And they slipped and fell on that marble step outside. And the people were so kind. They brought him in and cared for him until he passed and paid for all of his bills and such. And I mean, back then you didn't have to do things like that. They were just being nice." And she said, in fact, the because I had been in one of the other rooms by myself looking at all the paraphernalia in those um, exhibit drawers and stuff like that. And she said, in fact, the paperwork for his bills and such are in the room that you just came out of. So I had been looking at stuff relevant to the person that whacked me. And he was just trying to let me know, his experience. But it
I
was
think he,
definitely,
I think he was whacking you when he found out how much his bill was.
yeah, but he didn't have to pay it. So, there's that. But he did die. So, but they cared for him until he died. So that was pretty not a necessary thing in that day and age.
Yeah, but you know how the people are in Scotland. They'd take care of you until the end of time if they had to.
They are. They are taking care of him until the end of time, apparently.
Yeah,
So
the Scottish people are
special.
very cool people.
They're very special. So I'll never say anything against them, any of them. We haven't met a putz there.
No, they're all
Well,
they're all on top of stuff too. great ghost investigators.
Oh yeah. I've been watching we're talking about all kinds of people because Highland Paranormal took us under their wing. Scottish Paranormal has always taken us under their wing. Um, History and Haunted Tours, we got their full spectrum in a very short period of time. And that was so funny when we got to the Bankfoot Inn and I had to take a picture of the sign out of my window so I would know where I was when I woke up the next morning. So that was fun though. I mean, it really was a whirlwind, and we got to see so much. We got to go to Dunkeld. We got to go to where else?
We went everywhere.
Oh, Menzies, Mingus, Castle Mingus.
Menzies.
I know, right? Try telling Greg that. He will argue till he's blue in the
Well, he can
face.
argue all he wants, but it's
It's Menzies.
Menzies. That's not Mengus, no matter how
No, it's not.
demented he is.
Well, Lynn was pretty adamant about that too. But that's just one of those things about Scotland, though. It's the strangest because their their speech is so beautiful. I love their accents. They like ours too, though, because even though we don't have accents, they don't think they do either.
Well, we have accents. It's just way different than theirs.
Yeah. But seriously, Ryan O'Neill with Scottish Paranormal Haunted Scotland has been doing all these videos of late, and he loves to go and walk and talk. He has really gotten very good at that, and it's I just love to listen because that accent is so near and dear to my heart now.
Well, his accent has changed because
Yes, it has.
he's been on TV a lot, and now I can actually understand what he says. We were driving along. We were going to Ireland, and we're driving along, and Ryan was in the back seat. Gregor was driving, and he's telling a story. And I finally turned around. I said, "Will you speak English?" So he said,
There was another word or two behind that.
"Yeah." And then yes, well, they were all involved in there somewhere. But it was so funny. Every time I'd say something to me, he'd go doo 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 doo
Diddly diddly do.
But he
And
sounds
he
so
still
much
does
better.
that.
No, he sounds so much better since he's been on TV.
Well, that is true because initially the first time I ever met him, and I've got to put in here that all of these people, men, women, everyone with Scottish Paranormal, with Haunted Scotland, are because somebody stole their name. But they are the best people, hands down. And Gregor has driven us forever and ever, amen, with Kyle, and who just got married.
I'm going to say
So
Kyle.
yes, so I'm so excited for him, and if he listens to this, Kyle, best wishes to you for a forever love. I think that is just the best thing ever because y'all certainly waited and worked very hard for your wedding. So congratulations, and your
Yeah,
bride's beautiful.
he's a good guy. Did you know that he actually won a Jaguar car? Yeah, they had
Recently,
a. Yeah, he bought a ticket and he won a Jaguar.
holy crap!
Yeah,
I'm riding with Kyle next time.
he sold it as
Oh
soon
well,
as he
then he's a
got it.
smart guy. Is that how he paid for his wedding?
Yeah, he sold it as soon as he got it. I think
He's
that
so
was the
smart.
scuttlebutt.
Well, whatever. He certainly deserved it. So,
Well, I'll tell you, just
and
between you and him walking around with cameras, we should be able to make 10,000 books because both of you are. But a lot of you people don't know about little Cat Hobson over there, but she's world class photographer,
thank
and
you.
so is Kyle. I mean,
Kyle is.
between the two of them,
And
we could get some amazing pictures.
In fact, I have, I can't see if anyone can see this. This coaster is one of Kyle's photographs. And he gave me a set of these the first time that I met him in Scotland. And because he knew that I loved his work and he wanted me to have some of it to bring home that I could get here easily. And so, Kyle, if you know, these are scattered through my house so that I think of all of y'all and how much I love Scotland. And it's just really a nice memory thing. So, thank you so much for those.
He gave me one of those too, and I actually have one picture of St. Andrew's Cathedral,
Hmm.
and out of that
Well,
same package.
well, that's what that is. Or it's, I don't have my glasses on. I
Well,
guess
this
I
is the
could
one
pull them
that
down.
shows in the back, where you look through
Look.
the one arch and you can see
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing in the back.
Yeah. This is actually on a hill.
Yeah, that is on a hill.
So I don't know where that is. But regardless, it's not the university because I don't know of a place in the university where there'd be a break in the wall like that. But regardless, it makes me so happy every time I look at it,
And I'm
which is
telling you,
often.
you two guys are missing a big opportunity if you two just got together and made a coffee table book. Now, Kyle's not going to do it. And we both
Kyle's
know
not going to
why.
do it, and I'm not going to say why.
I'll say
But
why.
no, you're not. But
Uh,
because it's not, only his dad gets to say that. So
that was hilarious.
that was so funny. Kyle's dad is Gregor, and Greg is one of the best humans on the planet. They all are, but you can tell who raised him. But it's so nice because they're hilarious. All of these people are so funny. The Scots are just, you don't want to piss them off, but they're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun.
But you don't want to piss them off.
No, I don't want to piss anybody off. I'm getting old and cranky and stuff, and I'm trying to cut that out.
Well, I think you could probably still hold your own. You've got guns still.
Well, I got one leg, no blood, no blood. I think I'm gonna have to be on my best behavior for a few months,
Well,
or
I would
just
agree with that.
or just have my little brother walk around with me.
Well, that should take care of that. His little brother was the world heavyweight kickboxing champion, so he knows a lot of muscle.
Yep, yeah.
But
You should have seen some of the fights we had over the last pork chop.
I don't doubt that.
Better than some of the things you see on TV.
Yeah. Well, he is so funny. And if y'all saw the interview that I did with Rick and and Cash, I said he was talking about the house that y'all lived in and the things that went on and stuff. And I was like, so tell me about the time that, or something about, well, and you jumped over that fence. He was like, I did not jump over that fence. He threw me over. So you big old bully.
And then the Great Dane bit
So
him.
yes, bit his head. Oh my gosh.
That was that
No
was
wonder
my
y'all
dog.
fool with the paranormal. It's safer that way.
I mean, that dog was my dog. I mean, there's just no doubt about it.
Yep.
When he came up to me, and they were going to put him down, and I mean, he was a gorgeous dog, like 180 pounds, Great Dane. And I said, "Well, let me see him." She didn't want to let me see the dog. She said he's vicious, and she brings him out, and he's got a muzzle on. I'm looking at him, looking him in the eyes. I said, "He's not vicious." And I said, "Take the muzzle off." She goes, "Oh no." I said, "If he bites me, it's on me. Just please take it off." And I knelt down, and this dog is like, he was the same height as me, when he stood on his back legs. And I'm
Yeah.
6'4", so this is a big dog. It's like a horse in the backyard. And he bamboozled me, the bugger, because he was about that far from me, face to face. I said,
Yeah.
"Come here." And the lady that owns him is just having a heart attack because she thinks he's going to eat my face, right? I said, "Come here," right? And he bamboozled me. He did. He walked over and he put his head on my shoulder and leaned into me like a hug. And
Yeah.
I started petting him. I said, "You're right. He's vicious." So I said, "I want him." She says, "You can have him." I said, "Well, how much?" She goes, "No, you can have him." She goes, "I've done this for like 30 years. I've never seen an animal take to a person like that in my life."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, that's my dog."
That's a meant to be thing.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, genuinely.
yeah. It's funny because dogs and babies like me, and pretty much everybody else doesn't
Well, I'm neither one, and I like you most of the time.
most of the time.
So have to put a qualifier in.
Well, I really want to go back to Scotland because I want to go back to St. Andrews and make sure that poor girl at the restaurant is okay.
The one that will never ever get, you know, rescued as a damsel somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Great personality too.
yeah.
And y'all have to understand, Rick has a thing for drop dead gorgeous blondes, okay?
What guy
And
doesn't?
I
Come
know, right?
on.
But it's so funny because they like him back. And
When's that going to start?
oh please, it's it's always. But it's funny because it's just funny. You're so good with people. And in this particular instance, um, she was working her hiney off. And because we were in a golfing restaurant and a golfing town, everybody's there. It's raining, so they've all come off the course, and the place was hopping. And this poor girl was busting her hump trying to get everybody organized and taken care of and tend bar and get food. And she still took the time to smile back at you when you were being Joe flirtatious. And
Me? Flirtatious?
I
Oh,
know, right?
that
I
never
was
happened.
shocked. I was shocked. But it was funny because you really, you know, you made her day. You were very nice to her. You're nice to everybody, mostly. And it was just fun to see. So
Do you remember what I said when she walked away?
she's
See, you guys
scooting,
have to understand this was the nicest girl, and she was just drop dead gorgeous, right?
drop dead gorgeous.
And when she left, I went, "God, I feel bad." She goes, "Why?" I said, "How's that poor child going to get along in life?" I
I'm
figured
going
she
to
got,
tell you, one of those millionaire golfers is going to make her a happy girl at some
yeah,
point.
well, I figured she probably got, invited to be married twice before she brought her food back.
I would say so. I would say so. And that's funny because probably it's true.
I have to tell you a story about what happened when I first went to St. Andrews. I was very lucky because I was doing some research, and I know Kat loves it now, and so does Lori and Mikey. They all like that place. Uh, in the summer months, June and July, St. Andrews University rents out their rooms like hotels,
Yeah.
and right across the street is where this restaurant is, and all the real expensive hotels are like $400 or $500 a night.
Yeah.
And where we were at, it was what, like $100 a night, and
It wasn't even that much.
we were way up on the third floor, and we could actually take pictures of St. Andrews golf course, the um, the beach that was back there where they filmed Chariots of Fire. I
So
mean,
pretty.
you talk about an amazing view, but I see all these people going across the street, and I'm like, You don't know the secret. But
Nope.
what happened when I was the first one up there, there was only one guy and he was way at the other end. So I didn't see anybody. But I'm in my room and I'm getting my stuff set up and I hear somebody by my door, right? And I'm like, what's going on? So I just sat there with my head near the door and I'm like, I gotta open the door. And I opened the door and there's this young girl standing there and she got this big smile. She goes, "Are you the ghost hunter?" And I went, "Well, I'm one of them." Right? So then I told her the story of what happened the first night I was there.
Yeah.
And the first night I was there, I'm the only one on the floor, and I lay down to go sleep. And as soon as put my head down, a woman screamed, and I mean like bloody murder scream. And I got up and I went down the hallways and stuff, trying to rescue her. I couldn't find her. No more yells. And there's a lady that's on the show once in a while here or checks in, Heather Besser, who is an amazing, amazing medium.
The best I know of.
And I asked her, I said, "Can you tell me what that is?" She goes, "You're up high, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm up on the third floor." And she goes, "How far are you from the stairs?" I said, "Two rooms down." She goes, "That's where they killed her."
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the case, but that was pretty freaky. But I asked the
I
people
would take that
downstairs.
bet.
Yeah, I asked the people down there, and they said, "No, we've never had anything like that." So who knows?
Well, we don't know how long ago that was, too.
That's true. It could have been before St. Andrews.
Oh,
Here you go. This is for you, Kat.
yeah. Hey, always in timeout. And yes, we did visit Loch Ness, and Loch Ness was cold because um, when I go places, if there's water, I put my feet in, and I love it because to me that is a good time. And I love water. What can I say? And I love sand. But Loch Ness is all rocks under the bottom. So, and cold. And it was so funny because Rick thought I was crazy. In
Well, I'm
fact, I
pretty
think,
sure you're crazy.
yeah, but I have a good time. But it was so fun, and it was so pretty, because as you're standing where we came in, the restaurant was closed, and which I was bummed out about. But
Me too.
Mikey went and found the Nessie hunter. He was living in a little caravan there right by the sign, and I didn't even see that. I didn't even see the guy's place, and because I'm looking at the water, and there are all these bags, right, like equipment bags, because people were diving all over the place there, and that water was flipping cold. It was colder than the North Sea, and which I also got into because I do that. But Rick thinks I'm crazy. But it was so much fun because my feet are in Loch Ness, right? It was so neat, and it's so beautiful. the The water is not, because it was dark and cloudy, and you know, good chance we were going to freeze to death and get rained on in June. But the looking out across Loch Ness, you can see where it goes out to the sea, and the river Ness runs through Inverness, and or as they say, Inverness, and it was wild. Did you know they had sharks in the river Ness in Inverness this past week, Rick?
I did not know that.
They did. And it was the wildest thing because you don't think about it coming in from the North Sea, but all of that stuff goes everywhere. And I'm having a real trouble with my iPad holder because, guys, my computer wasn't working. I'm on my iPad. I never do this on my iPad because I love my computer. And so I'm having a difficult time getting it where you can see me consistently. There we go. Maybe that'll work. But and I I'm having trouble seeing Rick when I see me. Whoa, that was exciting. Yeah. Everybody hang on. But I know what to do now.
I'll be back in a minute. I gotta go get a Dramamine.
Stop it. But anyway, so it was so much fun. It was the coolest place. The views were just amazing. And there wasn't, in fact, I have not seen anything in Scotland that I would not recommend, hands down. That's never been the case with anywhere I've gone. It's always been, something. There was something that might be a drawback. There was something that might not be exactly what you had hoped for. The first trip we went to, that I went on to Scotland, was a terrible trip, not because of Scotland, but because we went with a shoddy tour guide, a tour company. And, you don't always need a mysterious adventure. Sometimes you need a safe and good adventure, right? So when we came home and my husband was like, "Oh my God, that sounds so awful." I was like, "Well, that's because it was so awful." And so we went back, and it was so fantastic because our friends there pitched in. Everybody took us everywhere. Our friends Lynn and Gary that were doing the I said it earlier. Now I can't.
Bankfoot,
No, what is the name of their company? History and
uh,
Horror Tours.
history and
And
horror tours.
yes. And so they were just brilliant. And then, our friends with Haunted Scotland were equally brilliant. And but I'm not kidding. We did not know where we were when we woke up in some mornings. It's like, what town are we in? Where? But everywhere we went, we got to go into one place and nobody paranormal had been in it, and it was a museum. And they let me. I mean, we were looking at maps and touching maps that were from the 1700s. I mean, it was just the most beautiful place. And the what was the name of that? The Fairmaid's house, Rick?
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And you and Mikey were having a great time. Lori got a really good experience down on the first floor while we were upstairs. And everything was brilliant. And we investigated everywhere. We we did everything. I mean, all the people.
It was a funny thing. Mikey Thompson is world class drone operator
Yep.
and investigator too, because he's really great with the audio, and he's just really
Yes.
good. But we went to dinner at this nice restaurant in Edinburgh, and
Hmm.
I invited a friend of mine that had invited us to several places, and he's sitting next to me, and then he's sitting next to Mikey,
Yeah.
and Mikey's going, "Yeah," he says, "and I snuck out there and I got one up and I flew around
Oh,
there, So and he's talking about all the stuff he did, with his drone.
from
And I
Colton
said,
Hill. Yeah, when we were
yeah,
up there.
yeah. I just looked at him. I said, "Hey, Mikey." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Probably shouldn't talk about that when you're with the guy that's in charge of the monuments right here." And he's going, "Oh no," and,
Yes.
and my friend just goes, "It's okay."
I didn't hear anything. So, but, and in fact, I play that on the show all the time. So nobody's ever gotten onto us yet. Yet.
That was funny though. When you the look on
Oh, and
Mikey's
his
face.
face. Well, both of their faces, because your friend was like, you know, stink eye for a minute, just messing with Mikey. That was hilarious.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's gotten me into a lot of places. You know,
He's a good guy.
when I first met him, he was doing the Real Mary King's Close,
Yeah.
and that's when I got some of the guys from Scottish Paranormal. I got some of the guys from Premier Paranormal, and then the people from England that had, you know, took me ghost hunting too. So I got them all to come, and I, had a little get together before we went. I said, look, we're doing this a little different. We've got like 3 hours. The first hour that we're doing this, you can't ghost hunt with anybody on your own team. And they said,
Perfect.
what? I said, it's going to be a para-unity hunt. And I made that word up. I'd never heard of it before. Right.
Right.
And then everybody just was like, that was amazing. We got a lot of activity, but everybody was like, that was really cool, because we got to see how other people were doing stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's why I thought it up.
Well, I
That
like
was really
doing
fun.
that, and you like doing that too.
Well, the more people I know, the more people can be nice to me.
Whatevs. People
It's
are
my
nice
only
to you anyway.
it's
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 your
my only
superpower,
superpower. It's my only superpower. People like me mostly.
mostly.
There's a few out there like to give me the shiv when I'm not looking, but
Well, you can handle them, so it's all good.
well, right now I have a hard enough time getting out of bed. I
Yeah,
gotta
that won't
see.
last forever.
I gotta see if I can show you this. Let's see.
Okay.
Come here, you.
Oh, we're traveling.
There's my knee
Okay.
all wrapped up.
That's his new knee, guys.
Yeah, that's $4,150 worth of stuff.
And I'm not going to be able to keep up with him when we get back to Scotland.
See,
Although I do
there's
want to go to England.
you see the scar,
No, it's too close.
but that's it. The hairy little thing that it is, but it's getting there.
Oh, go the other way. Go down. Oh, that's your pants leg.
Where to go? I know I have it
I saw
somewhere.
it a minute ago.
There's some of it. You know what it is? There it
There it
is.
is.
The camera shows things backwards,
Ah, okay.
but there's my.
That's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Well,
Just so y'all know, it's the first time I've seen it too.
it's been about 2 months,
Yep.
so I'm getting where I can kind of get up and move around.
But it's
But
not as
that,
big as it was.
yeah, no,
It's not as big as I anticipated it being.
well, it was really swollen for a long time because of that cellulitis I caught.
Yes, that was scary.
Yeah,
David went through that with me with my stomach. So when I said that's what you had, he was like, "Holy shit! Oh, holy crap!" Sorry, didn't mean to do that. I don't ever say that on the air. But that was so scary. And that's why when you told me that, it was red and swollen, I'm like, you gotta call somebody.
well,
Y'all be
what's so
with me.
funny about that? After the thing, they had a physical therapist come over, and the
Hmm.
first day they had a nurse come over, and
Yeah.
she comes over, and I was barefoot walking around the apartment, and she looks at me, she goes, "Call 911." I said, "Why?" She goes, "You've got cellulitis." I said, "What's cellulitis?"
Yeah.
She says, "It's a bacterial infection." She says, "And it's very serious. Call 911." So, me, I didn't, right?
Of course he didn't. For anybody doubting that, he didn't.
He
He's
didn't.
so hard headed.
But the next day, the physical therapist came and he walks and he goes, "Man, you've got cellulitis. You got to call the doctor." Right? Eh, let me give it another day or two because they gave me different medicine. I want to see if it works. And then the next day, that guy came back. The nurse came back, and it wasn't even their days. Right?
Yeah.
And they just came in. They said, "No." Okay, I'll go. I'll go. Don't hurt me. You know. So they called 911 and took me.
Yeah.
So, but
Not that
I
you're
said,
hard headed whatsoever. I don't know how anyone could ever think that you were.
nah, yeah, I'm not hard headed at all. If you need a spare brick, here it is.
That's not a lie.
So, but that was my interesting part of the year.
Yeah, we don't want to do that anymore, do we?
No, I was telling,
Have a mosquito or something.
I don't know what I was telling. They said, "So what have you been doing the last couple of years?" I said, "Being in the hospital." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I've been in the hospital 4 times in the last 2 years." I said, "It's getting a
Getting a little old
little
for
tiring,
you.
a little tiring." Except for I had a really good nurse the last time I was in.
Yeah.
She was funny.
Well, you've had good nurses all the way through. You had them for your surgery, you had them for your blood count, and you had them for your knee.
Well, it was so funny because I found out that I have pernicious anemia, which means the white blood cells, I think it is, eat the red blood cells,
Yep.
and and it's it's
You
so
got to have
funny.
those red suckers.
Yeah, it's not much fun. But the first time I was there, this real sweet girl would come in every 2 hours and take blood out, right? And then they would come in and they'd take out the IV and put a new one in.
Yeah.
And then she'd come in the morning all perky and stuff. She'd go, "So did you get a good night's sleep?" And I went, "Hell no. You come in every 2 hours and stick me with a needle. When you don't do that, you come and put another needle in." I said, "And if I have to go to the bathroom, there's this whole contraption. I have to wheel it around and everything else." I said, "No, I didn't have sleep good. What's wrong with you?"
Well, I happen to know that you were not that mean to that girl.
No, no,
I
I was teasing her and saying, "Oh, sure, I
know.
feel sure." Keep stabbing me every 2 hours. Yeah, okay.
Slept great. Yeah.
Yeah. Ow!
Well,
No,
that
everybody there was
experience,
nice.
that experience happened because you were pulling into the hospital when I called you back. And I was like, which hospital did you go to? And you're like, well, I'm in Burbank. They had just announced that the fires were coming into Burbank. I mean, you should have
Yeah.
stayed in Hollywood. And I was just like, you need to get in that concrete structure. Yeah, you need to get inside. But that was scary. You having that was very scary.
Well, I could look out the window and see the smoke,
Yeah.
and
Well, you should have been able to see the flames.
no,
Might have been on the other side.
the fires were farther down, and then the smoke was blowing through. But they had the Walt Disney water tower up, and all the smoke was covering up from where I was sitting. So
Wow.
yeah, I have a friend that one of her house got or
Condo.
her condo right on the pier in Malibu got burned.
Yep. Well, when my sister lived out there, she lived up in the hills in Malibu. And I always thought that place was crazy anyway, because your dogs have to get rattlesnake venom immunizations.
There's
Why
plenty
would
of
you
them
live
out there.
there? Huh?
There's plenty of them out there.
Yeah, because they had to build up their immunity to that. And I was like, why would you live somewhere that you had to do that? There's so many places in the world you can go. Why there? Because she did. I mean, she could have gone anywhere. She just decided she wanted to live in Malibu for a while.
Well, it's
But
simple because you can say, "Well, I live in Malibu,"
yeah,
and you're
but
right on the ocean. I mean, you're up in the hill and you can look at the ocean. And
yeah.
what you need is a snake dog.
Well, she didn't have a snake dog. She had Ziggy, and but Ziggy had to get immunized against that venom, or you would have had a ghost Ziggy.
Well, can I tell you something kind of scary about the paramedics out here in California?
What?
They don't carry anti-venom.
Why
You
would
have
they
to go to,
not?
you have to go to a hospital, and
Oh,
because they have different types of rattlesnakes, and unless you can identify the snake, you have to go in and they do a couple things to figure out which one to give you. But
meanwhile, you're dying.
yeah, when I first heard about that, they don't have anti-venom. Yee.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't, of course, I live with their copperheads, but, at least there's just one kind of copperhead. But it's just, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It freaked me out.
Well, I used to walk up that one hill,
Hmm.
which is really high. As a matter of fact, I've told you this before. I want to walk the West Highland Way.
Hmm.
So about 10 years ago, I started thinking about it, and
Yeah.
I wanted to know if I could be able to actually get up their highest hill. And
It's a pretty
uh,
high hill.
yeah, it's not as high as you think, though.
Yeah.
But I was looking on my map, and right where I used to play golf, above it is a trail. Everybody goes up there and walks up the trails. And there's a thing with water towers on top of thing Glendale Mountain out there, and it's exactly the same height to the foot as the one in Scotland.
Wow.
So I made it up there and down, which was 7 miles. But the day I did it was about 105, and by the
Yeah.
time I got down, I was like a 6-year-old. I was like, all of me melted off.
That's funny. Well, I told you if you got to where you could do it, I'd do it.
Yeah. Well,
I wonder.
I'm never worried going up there though, because usually April would go with me, and she's fast,
Yeah.
so she could rescue me
Yeah. And she's strong.
when she's not standing on her head by the edge of the cliff.
Those pictures made me a wreck.
You know what
His
she
whole
did on her
neighbor.
birthday? She went out skydiving on her birthday.
Yep.
Like, she goes, "You ever do that?" I said, "I am not jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. No. If it starts to go
My
down,
dad was
hand me the
special
chute.
forces and did it, and I would not do that on a bet.
I don't want to do that. No. Maybe they could
Nope.
fly over. Maybe they could fly over Scotland, and we could jump out. And
No.
I'll meet you at the bus terminal.
Yeah. I will drive home from the airport and pick you up. But my
Yeah,
dad used to jump out of perfectly good airplanes. I have never understood that.
my
And
dad did too. So my uncle Scott was a member of the 101st Airborne. And
my dad was airborne, Green Beret.
yeah, my uncle Scott was a tunnel rat because he was like 6 foot tall and he was only like 130 pounds.
Right.
And he told me, this is terrifying. They have these snakes over there called the crates, and they call them the two steppers because they're so poisonous. If you they bite you, you get to walk 2 steps and you're dead.
Yeah.
And what they used to do is they would take dirt and glass or whatever they had, and they would put it in the tunnels so that the guys going through there would, knock the snakes off, and the snakes would land on them. I would have said, "Shoot me! I am not going into that thing." Fortunately,
Nope.
I'm sort of large, so I couldn't have fit in there. So, thank you.
Yeah. you know, you are kind of large, but it's just, I could not imagine because, I'm so phobic of snakes. I can't deal with that. And I mean, I filled my pool in because I saw one coming up the pump line, the power line from where I'd put a pump down to drain the water to clean it. And so I filled my pool in because nope, that's not happening again.
Not gonna
So
do it. Wouldn't be
not
prudent.
would not be prudent.
Wouldn't be
I mean,
prudent.
because and it was nowhere near me, and I was still having like conniption fizz. I was like, no. So
Well,
I just
there was a girl that I knew from the gym, and all of a sudden she was gone for a couple of weeks. And I asked, I said, "Where is she?" Because she was there every day. She said, "Well, she was up hiking in the hills, not the ones I go to, different ones. And these two kids were throwing rocks at this snake, So she walked over and she goes, "You leave that snake alone," and picked it up. And it turned around and bit her, and it was a rattler. So she was in the
My
hospital
gosh.
for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But one of the things your mama should have taught you: do not pick up a rattlesnake.
Don't pick up a snake, period.
Yeah,
No snakes.
just
Snakes are bad. There's a
well,
reason.
when we were playing golf, my friend hit his ball up onto the side of the hill, and I went up there and I'm looking around, and I'm looking uphill. And I turn around, and I see something move right by my foot. I mean, this far from my foot. And I look down, and it's a snake. And I look down, and the tail's going, but it was a young one, so it didn't have any rattles on it yet.
Yeah.
And I looked down at it, and I said, "Okay, we'll just hold still." And then it went like this and popped its head back, and I was like, "Gotta go, see you, bye." And I just went,
Go, no
boom!
doubt.
I took off like a jet up into the air and went running down the hill. And one of my players, Roy Clark, who was the double James Garner, he looks at me and goes, "I have never seen a big man move that fast." I said, "I was motivated."
No doubt. Because, snake, holy crap.
Yeah, he was right there. He was like, "Yikes!"
I just, well, and young ones. I mean, mm-mm.
Well, the young rattlesnakes are worse. You'd rather get bit by an older one because the older ones only give you
No to
enough
let go.
to
Yeah.
get rid of you, but the little ones have the same amount of venom, but they launch all of it into you.
Yep.
So you're better off getting bit by a big old snake.
I'm just going to do my best to not get bitten by any snake.
I don't like getting
That's my
bit by
goal.
mosquitoes. I mean,
No.
no.
Well, I live in the South. That's, you can't avoid that.
Yeah, I just yeah. It's one nice thing about Scotland. There aren't any snakes,
Nope.
at least that I know of.
I haven't seen one. I haven't heard anybody talk about them.
I haven't either. Excuse
Well,
me.
of course, what was that? Some saint that sent them all into the sea.
St.
What is that
Patrick.
story? Hmm?
St. Patrick.
Was that who it was?
Yeah, the one that took all the snakes out of Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Must have gotten them out of Scotland too.
Well, there really weren't any in either one of them. So
Well, any would be too many.
only takes one.
It does only take one.
Only takes one. So
That's why I have dogs that go outside and play because it keeps them away.
I'll tell you, I'd rather have a rattlesnake sneak up on me than a crocodile.
I just don't want anything sneaking up on me.
You know, I have
I
to tell
don't
you
want to
guys,
be. I want to investigate Ghost Rick. I don't want to be one. I mean, seriously.
well, I got to tell you, when we did the movie Hatchet,
Yeah.
we were down in the swamp in New Orleans,
Yeah.
and I wasn't in the scene, so I was sitting over, and there was a picnic bench, and I was sitting on the picnic bench, and I looked up, and there was an alligator walking towards me. He came out of the water, and he's walking towards me. So he's still about 20 feet away, and he goes, so I think he's just got out of the water. I don't think he really saw me, or But right then, I look over, and there's a cat, right, that's over there. I thought, oh
Okay.
no, no, and I'm looking for a rock to throw at him or something. And the alligator got about 3 feet away from him, and that cat jumped him and went, and the alligator went, "I'm out," and turned around and
Oh
left.
my gosh.
I was like,
Well, they
that is
are
it.
easy to spook. I mean,
Yeah.
you can. They're not brave. They're just prehistoric and they freak people out when they see them.
Well, this little cat went all, Mike Tyson on it.
Ninja. Yeah.
So I sat there with the cat on my lap the rest of the time I was there. Nice kitty, nice kitty.
Good kitty. Good kitty.
But
That's
that
funny.
was something. I was all ready to try and rescue him, and he just said, "We will not be having any of this." Smack.
I am rescuing you, sir.
Yeah, this was like an 8-foot alligator. This wasn't just one little tiny thing. It was an alligator.
That's pretty wild because they're quick once they get their feet on the ground.
But you know what? Excuse me. If you ever have an alligator chase you, zigzag because they can't turn very well.
It won't be an issue because I will have dropped dead the first time I see him take a step toward me. It'll be a moot point. And then you
Well,
can investigate me.
yay!
So, do you ever think about the fact, and I know that we've talked about this some, but, you know, we have friends who have passed and there's codes, right? We have a code. But have you ever investigated somewhere and found a friend?
No, I never have.
I haven't
Although I
either.
although I did have my dad come back to me twice,
Yeah.
which is really something. He saved
Tell
me
me
from
about
getting.
it.
Well, I was driving back to Nashville and I was in the speed lane, and on the left side they had these really high cement barriers because they were doing
Mhm.
some work. And I'm going along, and up ahead of me is one of those big double tankers, the ones that are made out of stainless steel.
Yeah.
And it was up ahead of me, and I'm driving, and all of a sudden, my car just I started to go past, like right here was the thing, and just I started to get in next to it, my brakes just locked up. I went forward, and I'm grabbing the thing, trying to hold the wheel, and I'm still holding the wheel, and the truck goes, bam, just goes flying across into the cement. I mean, it would have killed me. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it. And it's still brakes are locked, and all of a sudden, when it went sliding back, the brakes went off, and I pulled a hard right, and I was really hoping nobody else was in my lane. Unfortunately, there wasn't, and I started driving down the highway, and my hands were like from all the
No
adrenaline,
doubt. Yeah.
all the adrenaline, like, and then it was so funny. I used to call my dad the French whore because whenever he came out of his
Yes.
back bedroom, he had so much Aramis on. I could smell him, and he'd be 25 feet away. I go, "Here comes the French whore." But after I got around and I was driving, the whole inside of my truck filled up with the smell of Aramis. So I was like,
Wow.
"Way to go, Pa!"
And that is so cool.
That's another time I could have got killed. Jeez.
Well, it's really lovely that nothing has gotten you yet so far.
Well, I told you what the name of my next book is going to be. My guardian
But
angel just called for backup.
no doubt. Well, I have no doubt that that guardian angel will be calling for backup. But I will say that snake venom. Hey, Nikki Cameron. Some always in timeout says snake venom is a neurotoxin. Time is of the essence in treating a bite. I didn't know that was what it did.
Yeah, it'll just stretch you out. I mean, it's like,
So that is good to know. Thank you.
yeah, but can you believe that they
And
don't carry the antivenom?
no, I cannot believe in that area that they don't carry antivenom. I'm going to see if I can move this. I cannot. I wanted to move this down a little bit because I can't see my. There we go. This might be better. I'm going to just get situated in my chair a little bit more.
There you are.
In case you're wondering, Rick, I am on my iPad because my computer wouldn't function appropriately tonight for some reason. And that's why I've got so much space behind me and my ceiling fan.
Should have given a quick series of backhands, like that
I
cat did.
considered that.
I
I
mean, you're a
considered
cat.
that.
You should be able to do it.
I can.
I can
And
just
I've
see.
got claws.
I can just see when the alligator jumped back in the water and all the other alligators going, "Oh boy."
I just could not, I could not fathom that. I mean, A, you just sat there and watched it come.
Why this all happened within the space of 1 minute. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm sitting there and he came up and I wasn't watching that. And I just happened to look down and he was maybe 10 to 12 feet away from me. And I knew it was okay because I was at the picnic bench, right? And if he came a little closer, I could just jump up on top of the bench and
the
go over.
table. Yeah.
Yeah. So I already had my escape plan ready. I've seen Tarzan movies and I don't want to be in one. Right? So
No, not that aspect.
I am not wrestling crocodiles, alligators, snakes. No, just no.
Nope,
Out of that whole
not
bunch,
any of them.
I'd jump out of the plane before any of that.
I would
Yeah.
not. I would just not have anything to do with any of it. I'm a great big sissy, you know that.
Well, yeah, I know you got shot and whacked in the head. I mean, that's not sissified. You still kept going.
Well, the colliding thing, I'm not kidding. The colliding thing, and I have I have Scottish ancestry, I have English ancestry, right? And so I'm sitting there walking through. I don't know. It had to have been the English that shot me because the Scots didn't have guns. So that was so weird, right? I mean, I just don't know. It was just such an odd thing. And there was no doubt in my mind what had happened because of the sensation,
Well, you were
you
looking
know?
towards the English, and they were the ones that had the guns.
Yeah. But it was just weird because we were at the last name on the stones in the grouping that I was in that we were walking by was whatever the name of that character in the Outlanders is.
I've never seen that.
I haven't either, but I recognized the name. And and it was where Liam had told us when we first got there, yeah, there's this area over here sometimes gets weird stuff. And so I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm thinking weird stuff like you see whatever. I wasn't expecting weird stuff like you're going to get shot today.
Yeah, that
And
generally doesn't come up as a normal normal thought.
no. And so it's funny because I told you this a while back and you thought it was so weird, but it's true is that it still hurts sometimes in that area right here around the solar plexus where I got hit by whatever that was. That still hurts. It's like residual kind of stuff. And so I I'm pretty good about blocking it out. But have you ever had a paranormal injury?
I don't think so.
Well, it was definitely an experience that I do not want back again.
Well, you know what my
I
first
don't want
thought
that.
was? Boy, am I going to hear from David. I was supposed to be watching out for her, and she got
That
shot.
is your job. Your
But
job
I,
is to make sure I come home.
yeah, but
Yes.
the fact is, something we couldn't see shot you, so I couldn't
Well, I
defend
mean,
you.
how are you going to defend against that? Right?
That was weird. I remember reaching, taking a step over and grabbing you. What's wrong? I feel like I got shot. It's not a good feeling. I take it.
Well, um, no. I'm just going to put out there no. That was not a it was just a wacky doodle thing. It's it's the strangest thing that's ever happened to me. Paranormal investigating. Other than when I pissed up the whole of Paulding Jail. That was pretty exciting too.
Paulding is strange because you have a weird connection with it.
I do.
Yeah. And then I appear too because when they were having the uprising above the spirits, the sheriff kept yelling, "Get Rick! Get Rick!"
Yeah. And that's something that I would consider that to be an honor because that meant that For those that don't know, we're talking about the old Paulding jail in Paulding, Ohio. And I've been going there for a while before Rick went. And Rick was coming to do, you were doing an event. And so I wasn't able to be there because some health thing. And David wouldn't let me go. So when I called you while you were there,
Well,
that was
Lori
so
was there
funny.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lori was there too.
And Mikey and Cheryl were there.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I just got this wise thing pop into my head because Lori says, "Yeah, she's so hooked in with these people." I said, "Well, let's call her, see if they'll talk to her." Right?
Yeah.
And she had a conversation with the spirits. It was the weirdest thing.
Well, things do get weird. But, it was weird because that was so unexpected.
Well, look at it this way. Think how much money you can save. Instead of driving all the way up there, all you have to do is give them a call and say, "Hey, what's up?"
Dudes, good to see ya.
Say,
Well,
dudes.
that was very odd. I've never had that happen before.
I never had ghosts ask me to come and help either until then.
Come save us. Well, they really needed you.
I would have gone. I don't know what I would have done, but I would have tried something.
Well, it was interesting.
I would have just hid behind Mikey.
Not anymore.
If they're throwing stuff, I'll just be right back there.
Yeah. He is Mikey Thompson is who we're talking about, and he is one of the best paranormal investigators we know. I know. You know a lot more than I do. And he's one of the nicest humans too. He is just really um surprisingly amazing. And I actually have that video in my files here, and I can't see if Carl is there because my the way I'm set up isn't working right. But Carl, are you there?
Yeah, what do you need,
Before
Kat?
before we leave, I wanted to play Mikey's video right as we get close to leaving. But are there still Scottish pictures over there?
I think so. Let me look real quick.
I can't see them. I'm sorry. I would do it. This is Carl.
I know.
Most of y'all know, and this is my producer and my friend,
And a very good
Oh,
ghost hunter in his own right.
without a doubt.
thank you. Kat, I think you took them off there when you put all the UFO stuff on there.
Okay, well, I know the video is still in there, so we can
Uh,
look at that later.
which video?
I think it just says Mikey video.
Hmm. Oh, Mikey Scotland.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in
and
here.
okay, and that when we get ready to go, I want to run that. So
Okay, just let me know.
I will. Thank you. But I figured that you wouldn't mind that
No.
because it gets to show all the places, and I was getting ready to do my UFO stuff last week, and I love you like this too. And actually, this weekend coming up is going to be the Scientific Coalition on UAP Studies. The group that I'm in, it's their annual convention, and this year they're holding it in Toronto, and I just could not swing getting to Toronto right now because my daughter-in-law's health issues and doing stuff with the boys and all that. So I'm not there this year, but they just released another trench of the videos, and these are pretty good. So that's what I'm going to be doing for Fate Sunday night is more UAP stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Have you seen the ones that have come out?
Some of them, I don't know how many of them I've seen, but I've probably seen about a dozen of them.
Well, it's been intense. I've done two shows, one with the first set and one with the second. And what I really love is that some of them, they showed it on the news a lot. The one that looks like it should be a cathedral window that just kind of moves around.
I think I've seen that one.
Isn't it gorgeous? And it's like that's a craft, really? But it's something. I mean, I
Well, you know what's going to happen, don't you?
tell me.
One of these days, the big UFO is going to come down and just sit there, and all the TV cameras will be there, and the president will be there, and all the bigwigs will be there waiting to see it. And then, like the movie "The Day the Earth Stood Still," zzz, when it opens, and
Yeah.
Bigfoot's going to walk out and go, "Okay," walk back in.
I love that. And I wouldn't be surprised because I've got an image that's in the other room. I haven't moved it into my office yet, or I would show you. But it's a picture of Bigfoot being taken up into a craft with a ghost over on the side watching. So, and I've got a hat that has Bigfoot being taken up into a craft.
I did tell somebody one time. They said there can't be any Bigfoot because nobody's ever found a dead body of one. I said, you know what they never find dead bodies of? Hunters, what they never find? Dead bears.
Yep.
Those exist.
Yep. Well,
Boy, I'm just a
I'm
fountain of information tonight.
you are a fountain of information tonight. I love that. Well, you usually are. You've got so many experiences and you've got such a great history. You
I've been
you're a
around a
perfect
while.
guest.
I've been around a while.
Yeah. But you do a lot of stuff.
I
Got a lot
do.
of curiosity. That's a
Yeah,
good
I was
thing.
sitting there the other day now, and I just added up how many places that I've actually ghost hunted that were famous, and
Yeah.
it's up to 74. And
Wow.
if you look in there, like 30 of them, you're in it too.
Well, but you know what? That's because we love it
Yeah.
and they love us,
Well, I don't know
except for the
about
one
that.
that shot me. Except for the one that shot me.
That's what I was thinking. I got smacked in the head at Balgoni,
You did.
and everybody saw it. It's like, wow. I turned around. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, bring it. It said, Spirit, I saw it come up from the floor and gave you a
Mm,
whack. Like, well, that's not very kind.
that is not very kind. That is flat out mean and ugly.
I'll tell the Laird. He'll take care of that.
He'll fix that now.
That's
By
my
jingo.
buddy. That's my buddy, the Laird.
Yes. And that was so radical when he showed up. And you were so clueless. I was just like, come on. Everybody in the room, there were what, 12 people in there, that little bitty area? And maybe not that many, because it was the four of us. And
5 of us.
was Cheryl there?
Julie was there.
Mm, that's right. And then, however many people they had sent to be with us in there. And, that video did not reflect what I saw. And but I was validated because other people saw it too. The way that the
I saw
energy
it.
climbed that, yeah. But it was just, guys, the the Jiminy Crickets. What is that called?
What is what?
REM pod. The REM pod
Oh, the REM pod, yes.
had the antenna up fully, and in the video it doesn't show it, and yet everybody saw the current climbing, going up and down that antenna.
Well, you know what
And
it looked
so
like? It looked like some of the things that Tesla was working on.
absolutely it did. It
It was,
absolutely did.
that was the first thing
And
I thought of, like, holy cripes.
what the heck? And
It's
then
Tesla.
everybody but you knew who that was. So it was so funny because
Now I'm embarrassed.
don't be embarrassed. I mean, you were just excited because we were getting activity. And you didn't. I mean, I moved because
Everybody knew.
it
Everybody
was
knew but
making me
me.
nervous. I was moving. I got away from it because, oh my God, this thing's going to blow up. I thought it was going to blow up. And
Looked like it was going to blow up.
it did. And nothing on Mikey's, and you can hear in the video that y'all are going to see later, Mikey's counting the number of times that my fully charged camera was shutting down. I think there were like 6 shut-offs of my camera. And I'm just like, you can shut it off. I'm gonna turn it back on. you know. But
That was that was something. And I've never been involved in a ghost hunt that was that magnificent. Let's just put it that way.
yeah. And it was
Every
only for that first group.
yeah, only everything we had out: REM pods, tri-field meters, K2s.
Yeah.
I had a K2. Lori had one, and they both went to 5 and locked.
Yeah.
So
Locked.
I was saying, you have to back off so we can actually, have
Communicate.
an interaction here, because it's, so let these go, and then we can ask you and see if we get some answers here. And it stuck it again, so I turned it off, and it came back up and started flickering, and went boom, back to 5, and I'm like, and that's when I said, I don't know who this is, but whoever this is really knows this equipment. And I looked
And
up,
all of
and
us are going,
everybody,
hello.
everybody just sitting looking at me like.
I know he's going to get this at some point.
And finally I went, holy crap, it's the Laird. And that was my buddy.
Yes, he was.
It's not the same without him.
Yeah.
And Alfie's gone.
Well, I know that Kelly was posting pictures of Bonnie and their dog, the lab, playing in the courtyard.
Yeah.
And Kelly is the new lady of Balgoni. Her husband is the new Laird since the old Laird passed. And so Bonnie and their dog just were cavorting about. And I was like, it's so nice to see her so happy. And
Bonnie was a really cool dog, but I was allergic to her.
yeah.
And she would always run to me and say, no, 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 no. And finally I said, sit. And she sat down. And I looked at her. I said, I really like you, but you make me itch. She looked at me like, oh, okay. That's why you don't want to play with me. Yeah.
It's like not a personal thing.
Yeah, it was like she understood what I said. I was like, well, that's cool.
She did understand what she said. She's a lab.
Yeah. Bonnie
and Alfie.
Alfie, yeah, he was gone. He went with the Laird.
Yeah.
Which should be, because they were like the dynamic duo. Those
inseparable.
Two. And who absolutely that Alfie loved was Kyle.
I could see that.
He absolutely loved Kyle, because I went there and Kyle was sitting on the sofa that faces the fireplace downstairs, and dog was curled up in his lap. And this is not a little tiny dog.
No, he was not.
This
He was a
is a
wolfhound.
big Irish wolfhound. I used to say, "Get off me, you big oaf!" When Elliot would sit on me, and he was only like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I can't let that big moose Alfie lay on you.
Well, and the cool thing is that they lived in that haunted castle. So that they were so aware of activity. It was a very active castle. It is a very active castle.
Yeah, it's actually my favorite place.
I know.
I mean, I love going to that place. And then the place where I got yelled at in Inverness.
Yeah.
I got slapped around by a spirit in Inverness. I was walking along in this graveyard, and my knee was killing me. I mean, and we'd walk like 9 miles.
Yeah.
Because Lori had a tracker on her phone, and I got in there, and there was a tomb. We were all walking around through the cemetery.
That's where I found my grandmother's maiden name.
Yeah. But when I got over there, this thing looked like a tabletop, and I thought, I can't walk anymore. I looked over and I said, "Look, I mean you no disrespect, but I have to sit down or I'm going to fall on you," right? So my K2 meter had not gone off the entire night, which is unusual because I usually get a lot of stuff with it. And I sat down and instantly it went 5 lights. And I said, "Are you mad I'm sitting on you?" Right? And I said, "Well, look," I said, "if you just let me sit here and catch my breath and let my knee loosen up a little bit, like 30 seconds, and I'll get off. Can I sit here, for a little bit?" And it went between 2 and 3, like it was going, okay.
Yeah.
So like at 30 seconds, there was a girl that was with me. She was part of the Highland Paranormal group. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, after about 30 seconds, it goes 5 lights.
Yeah.
And I said, "All right, I'll tell you what, if you do it again right now, I'll get off." And instantly 5 lights. And I went, "Huh." And the girl says, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Gonna get off." I promised. But yeah, that was amazing. I remember telling Kat this because the first night we went and had what happened with the Laird, which was amazing. And actually, we wrote a story about it.
Yeah.
And then the next night was something yelling at me for sitting on the tombstone, which I didn't feel right sitting on it to begin with.
Yeah.
But those 2 nights back to back, and I told Kat, I said, "You know what? I'm thinking about quitting doing this." And she goes, "You'll never quit doing this." I said, "Yeah, but how am I going to get anything that's better than these 2 things?" Right? She goes, "You'll still go." And said, "Yeah, you're right." But I mean, these were 2 of the most.
And why did I say you would still go?
Because you know me.
No. What did I say?
I don't remember.
Because now you know.
Oh, that's right. You said because now you know.
Yeah. You'll never be able to stop because now you know.
Yeah, I'm starting to get some more activity in my bedroom here. It's starting to perk up a little bit. It had been a couple of years and nothing was happening. now all of a sudden it's
TMI, Rick. TMI.
Not that kind.
I'm his friend. I can pick on him about that. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's get to
if you're going to set him up, I'm going to knock him down.
Yes, that's true. I did. I teed it up.
You did.
See, it doesn't matter how beautiful the girl is or how rich she is. And,
he runs.
I'll run away. She knows it. Everybody knows it.
And there have been some pretty ones that have tried.
Well, yeah, there's been some really good-looking girls, but I just don't have it in me. I want them to have a better life than I would be giving them.
Oh, please. This is where I just say, "Oh, shut up."
Oh, just shut up.
Just hush. Yeah. Well, because it's really funny. because you have got, I'm your friend. I will always be your friend. But I will always say, snap out of it. You know,
She's picking on me, people.
I can. It's in the friendship book.
Yeah, she can get away with it.
Yeah.
But I'm
So
not taking a bullet for you next, Scotland. just because now.
I wouldn't let you. That was horrible.
I
That
have to
really
tell you
was.
something about I have to tell you something about Lori because she was supposed to be on here, but
Yeah.
she was having problems. She and I were walking through a rainstorm, and we just come back from the beach down at St. Andrews, and we walked in and came in the back way, and we were right in front of the big spires, right? And we're walking along, and all of a sudden, about 100 yards ahead of us, we hear boom, and she hits the ground and she's grabbing at me. She says, "Get down, get down." I went, "Lori, it was a backfire." She goes, "Yeah, but they might shoot at you." I said, "They're not going to hit me from here with a pistol. It's 100 yards away. I can stand in and go blah, 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 all day long and they won't hit me."
Yeah.
So I had to help her up. It's like, it was nice that you tried to save me, though. That was nice.
Well, did she try to take you down with her, or did she tell you to get down?
She yelled at me to get down, but I kind of felt her like had hold of me as she was going down. And I just
Yeah.
kind of went, "That's enough." I got her good one day,
Well,
though. Remember when we were at that one castle that looked like a ship? I can't remember what it's called. It was on the right on the ocean or one of the lakes. And you were upstairs looking out the window, and Jay Blumke was up there too. And
oh,
I think Mikey was up there too. So we started walking, me and Lori, and it was raining and it was slippery. So I said, "Put your arm in my arm." And she puts it like this. I said, "No, don't do none of that ladylike junk. Put your arm in here."
yeah.
Right. And
Lock
I clamped
arms.
on it
Yeah.
too good. And the very next step she took, her feet went right out from under, and I went and held her up. And she goes,
Yep.
"Oh, I get it." Like, yep.
Now I know. Yeah. Where was that? Was it Inverary?
I can't remember the name of the place. It was the dark one that, you could walk down to the water and you
Oh,
guys all,
Blackness Castle.
I was going to say it was Blackness. Yeah, the Blackness Castle.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. And,
That was one of my favorites too, and it did look just like a ship.
when we were at the jail, Sterling Jail, I think it
Mhm.
was, I'd already walked
Y'all had a
downstairs.
serious experience there.
Yeah, I had just walked downstairs and I'm standing on the bottom and I hear Lori come. She goes, "I'm coming." I said, "Okay." So I'm sitting there and she just comes around and there's like 4 steps, but I can see her now, right? And I hear from behind her footsteps going right down the steps after her. So I jumped out there and I was ready to run up the steps because it sounded like somebody was going to attack her, right? And
Yeah.
she's like, "What was that?" I said, "I don't know, but it was right behind you." Right? And she goes, "You were coming to rescue me." I said, "Well, I was coming to get in the way."
That
So it
was a
was,
very strange feeling place. I
yeah,
didn't really get any activity there, but and I didn't get anything in my photos either because I was shooting the whole way through. But the vibe there was extraordinary.
yeah. Well, it was funny. They had different rooms that had posters up of,
Mhm.
a villain that had been in there. And one of them was one of my relatives, right?
Yeah.
And when we came back down, they had a computer that you could put your name in, your last name, and it would tell you how many, you know, things like that. And me and Mikey were sitting there, and the guy sitting there, he goes, "Did you try that?" And I said, "Yeah, I found out there was five of my relatives in here." And he goes, "What's your last name?" I said, "McCollum." And he goes, "There's a lot more than five." Right? That doesn't
That's
surprise
funny.
me.
Yeah,
Does not surprise me. But we've really been blessed with the people we've met and the places they've taken us
we
to.
have.
I mean, it's
We have.
I try and feed the little beggars when I
And
have little extra money to toss some meat down their throat. You know, here, have a steak.
well, and they're just, it's really phenomenal because um you always say that your superpower is that people are nice to you.
That's true.
And I started thinking about that the first time that you told me that. And people are nice to me too. And it's just, I have made so many good friends all over the place through our relationship
Well, you are a lot
because
like me. That's you realize that, but I don't mean to say
I
bad
do
things
realize
to
that.
you. But we are a lot
Well, we're
alike.
basically the same person.
Yeah. Well, you
And,
dress better.
you know, well, I do dress better, but sometimes. But the it's really odd because I like people. I like learning about people. I like meeting new people. And the people that I've met through you are amazing. Even Kane, when I first started doing Fate Mag Radio, you were who announced that I had gotten that gig when we were at the brewery in Scarefest, and we had just met.
Well, that was
And we
a
were best friends when we met,
that was a pretty good thing
which
to
was,
announce, though. I mean, come on now.
well, it was. But, it was so funny because I was kind of bashful. And I was like, well, I haven't really announced it yet. And Kane looked over at me and said, you just did. And I was like, sure did. you know,
Well, you have
but
to know who Kane is.
he's
You have to
such a
know who
nice
Kane is.
man.
Kane is the guy who played Jason Voorhees in four of the Friday the 13th. He's the guy who played Victor Crowley in all four of the Hatchet series. He's world famous horror guy. And it's funny,
Well, it's
he
your best
just did.
friend.
Yeah, he just did.
Yeah. And he was very in character for that. So it was funny. And I was like, well, I guess we did. And
Yep.
then we were doing that investigation. And, yeah, I think it was him that said, it wasn't you, it was somebody else. And I always thought it was Kane, but said, you've done this before, something, like it was a compliment. And I'm like, I had a time or two, you know, but, and then that other guy and that was with y'all,
All right.
Steve, RA, RA was, he's, he's freaking hilarious.
He's a
And he was just
knucklehead, is
like,
what he is.
he is a knucklehead. He's so nice though. To me, it was very nice. And you
Well,
know,
tell him what he's known
it was
for.
just fun. Um, the Saw Blades movie. What is the name of that movie? I don't know.
Leatherface,
Leatherface.
Texas
Leatherface.
Chainsaw Massacre,
Don't tell him I
and,
didn't know that.
and he played Leatherface in part three.
Well, don't tell him I didn't know that.
But he's funny. I
He is funny.
remember.
He's very nice. He was very nice to me. So
Well, you're a friend of mine. He better
he
be
asked me
nice
if I
to you.
was married, and I said I am. And he was like, well, all the good ones are. I was like, yeah, I guess so. yeah.
Oh, you bailed out on that one. It was a good save.
yeah. But it was funny. But it was really funny because you you are particular about who you give time to.
That's true.
And so far I've liked everybody that you do.
Well, my friend Chuck Waters, one of the most famous stunt guys there is, he'd invited me to play golf with him. And I got home that night and I called him up. I said, you know what? Those guys were all really, really nice. And he goes, wouldn't have been there if they weren't.
Yep. Very valid.
Somebody asked us one time, they
Very
said,
valid.
Chuck did stunts. And he said, which movie he was in? I said, all of them. He said, you name a movie, he was in it. I mean, he was one of the kids that was on the bicycle in E.T. flying up into the sky. He was in, what was the name of that movie? What the heck is it? Harrison Ford, where he's looking for the Holy Grail.
Indiana Jones?
Yeah, that's it. And you remember when the guy comes out and he spins the
scimitars,
sword
yes.
and he shoots him. And then the next time they come out, they're going to do the same thing. And the guy swings the knife, and one guy's setting food, and the sword goes right between his hands, goes right. That was Chuck putting his hands down and letting that guy swing his thing there. But,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, there's some nice people there.
Yeah. I think that's cool.
Unfortunately, with the exception of Chuck, the other ones have all passed away. You know, I had a really good friend. Didn't know him for a long time, but he was a good friend. It was Buddy Van Horn, and Buddy
Oh,
was like
yes.
the biggest stunt coordinator in the world. And he was quiet. And back in the days, if you squared up with him, it wasn't going to be a good day for you, right? Because he was a tough dude. He was a bull rider he was a bronc rider. So he had taken plenty of hits, but he was Clint Eastwood's stunt double for 50 years. You know,
Yeah.
he was just a good guy. Really liked him. But that happens.
It'll happen to all of us.
Buddy, Roy, save a spot for me.
I think that they've got you a place waiting.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you guys a story. My mother was very, very ill, and I'd been with her for 4 months trying to take care of her. And her end was coming, and she would sleep in a recliner, and every night I would rub her neck and put a hot thing on her neck and kiss her on the head when I went upstairs to go to bed. And she was now I forgot what I was going to say. It was so funny. Oh, we're sitting there, and she looks over, and she's so sad. And she looks at me and she goes, I hope I die before you do. And I looked at her, I said, yeah, me too. Right. And she goes, how can you say such a thing? Right. And I said, no, there's a reason. I know you're going to heaven. I need somebody up there pulling some strings for me. I hope you go first. And she started laughing.
Yeah. I can't believe you sometimes.
You what?
I said, I can't believe you sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You're such a mess.
Some people go, what? What did he just say? No, that wasn't me.
And that's okay.
That wasn't me.
It's okay, though. But,
I'm kind of sad
I
right
am.
now.
Why?
Well, because I got a bad knee and it's getting slowly better. And this is when I would be in Scotland.
It is.
I might have to go over and save that poor homely girl that works at Dunvegan's. You should see the look on yours and Lori's face. I said, that poor homely girl. I mean, how's she ever going to get through life? Right? And they both turned around and they were looking at me like, what is wrong with you? It felt like saying, well, how much time you got?
Well, and I'm going to tell you that
Go ahead.
Heck would freeze over before he would ever ask anybody out.
That's
like
true.
That.
That is true.
He's way, way gentlemanly.
Well, thank you. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Call him as I see him.
Yeah, but that place is just, I just love St. Andrews so much because You know where I'm at most of the time. I'm
Yep.
down at that beach, just sitting there
Eating ice cream,
eating
Magnum
ice cream.
bars. They sell them everywhere.
Yeah, they're good. By the way, if you ever go to Scotland, people, one thing you have to watch out for: the sea pigeons. I mean, they
They
will
will
come and
take anything you've got.
they'll take it right out of your mouth when you're sitting there. Boom.
They
They're vicious.
they
You
are
gotta watch
not
out for them.
bashful.
No, they are vicious. But that
They are not the
I
least bit bashful.
should I tell them the story of my levitation?
Yes, but can I tell them where it was by my description?
Sure.
Anytime you look at pictures of Edinburgh, they will show you the grass market. Okay. The grass market has a building at the castle end of it that has crawling flowers all over the face of it. What kind of flowers are those? Do you know? I don't know. But they're
They look like
beautiful. They're
vines to
purple.
me.
Well, they're flowering vines. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's exactly where he was when he fell, was in front of that building. And they had pylons that, to keep cars from coming up into it because it's a
Yeah.
pedestrian
Cement
only area.
pylons.
Yes, they are. Now, you go.
No, these things are made out of cement. They're made like, you know, they get bigger at the bottom and they go up and they're just about knee high. And I'm looking up
They're
there
to
looking
stop
at
a
that.
speeding car. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking over and
At the,
boom, both of them
yeah.
right in my knees. And I went face first over them, hit the ground. Fortunately, I was a stuntman for
How did you hit the
500
ground?
years.
Yes.
Got both my
Save the
forearms
hat.
up. Yeah.
And
Boom.
save the hat
Got to save the hat. But anyway, I went down,
and the
boom,
head.
and I was barely there. And all of a sudden I looked like this. And I thought to myself,
You
well,
did.
at least I'm going up. And then
Go in the
I
right
looked around
direction.
and all the people that were in the little restaurant outside came running over and hoisted me up and put me back on my feet. And I was like, I'm going up. Yes.
It was
But
not guys.
no, a
It
lot
was
of it was
women.
girls. Yeah.
The women. The women
Yeah.
got to him first. And it was so cute because in their little beautiful Scottish voices, they're, oh sir, are you all right? And I mean, everybody just were loving on him and lifting him up. And it was just so nice. And
It
that's
was
when I
cool.
knew that I loved Scotland.
Yeah, you know when you love Scotland was right after that when we went down into the ice cream parlor and I bought you an ice cream.
And it was banana
Yeah.
ice cream in Scotland in a restaurant that had nothing but china teapots stacked up for your tea. I was in heaven.
Well, Lori seemed to
That was,
like hers too, so I was enjoying mine.
yep,
So we had to stop that place every time we went by.
yes. Well, and that was Scotland is very user friendly. It really is because for $3 you can get a 3 item lunch. For $4 you can get a 4 item lunch in a Tesco or anywhere that has a meal deal um, available. You're not going to starve in Scotland, or you can
Sainsbury.
spend $300 on dinner. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I used to go to Sainsbury every day to get
hmm
the meal deal lunch. And
yep.
I
They
got to
have them
know a
in Tesco.
couple.
They have them in the airport.
Yeah,
Even
I got to know the ladies behind the counter, and they came out and they wanted to get a picture with me for being a customer. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
do I get a discount?
Not
No
with
discount
meal
for
deal.
you.
You've already got a discount.
Yeah,
So
I wish they had those here,
yeah,
man. I'd be buying them all the time.
I think it's irresponsible that we don't.
Well, they were decent
I
food.
think it should be. Well, but I mean, that's a national program.
Yeah,
That is not just by a store. That's a national program.
I did not
And
know
they
that.
did, I mean, that's Yeah, it's subsidized just so people don't starve. They, you know, they make sure that there's available, reasonably healthy, balanced food. I mean, it's a
Well, you
full
know what?
meal.
You may not have gone into a grocery store because I was there longer than you guys, and I
I
would
did
go
go to the
into
grocery store.
I'd go into well, actually, the one that we went into, the Walmart kind of place, and
Hmm.
we walked in, and there was a stand full of apples and pears and
Yep.
oranges and all that stuff, and underneath it said "free for your children."
Yep.
So any kids that came in, they got a snack while they went around, and it was good food for them. So that was pretty
Yep.
cool. I have
I
Scottish
mean,
people.
without a doubt, that was pretty good too, by the way.
Like you.
So, you know, what is the outside of Scotland? What is the most interesting place to you that you've traveled?
Um, Australia was pretty cool, um, but that was more because of the people. The people were very much like the Scottish, very nice. Um, I think the place that I liked was Switzerland. That was that was really something. I mean, you sit there and you just look around and go, wow. There was this one little tiny town, and you would take the train out to there, and you'd get off, and
Mhm.
I went and got a pizza with the girl that was with me, and
Mhm.
the one that got me originally running away. Uh, no, but we were sitting there, and I mean, I looked up, and there was this old time spire on top of the church. There was what are they called? Cobblestones. Streets were cobblestones, and right next to it was these little bridges that went over the creek. It was actually a river. The little bridges that went over the river, and you could see the Matterhorn straight ahead of you.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
I was like, wow. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
Standing in the middle of a postcard.
Yeah, it was really something. Pizza was
That's
eh,
so cool.
yeah, but Switzerland is really, really, really pretty. The
And
people
if
there
I'm
were,
not mistaken, that was your first date with that girl, right?
yeah, well, yeah. It's really tough to take somebody to
You took her
Switzerland
to
on a first
Switzerland.
date. Makes it kind of hard to come up with a good second date.
Yeah, and
No,
that's
but
okay.
before people think that I'm a rich guy, I am not. But what had happened was our home shows, we used to get a lot of advertising through the newspaper. And right after my
Yeah.
dad passed away, I was there helping Vandy, and she says, "What should we do? We have a thing for two tickets anywhere in Europe that we want to go to, plus hotel and everything else." And she said, "Who should we give it to?" I said, "Well, you can't give it to anybody but me." And she goes, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm the only one that doesn't have part of, I'm not part of the sales. I'm not part of this, who have more than one person in them, right? So if you
Right.
give one to one, it's going to offend somebody." So they gave it to me, and then Vanny gave it to me. She's such a mean person, but anyway, she's awful. But anyway, that's my evil stepmother, by the way. She's very nice,
Yes,
but
she is.
that was really something. But I had met little Debbie in Columbus, and I asked her just one time. I said, "I'm going to Switzerland here." So she goes, "Oh, I want to go." I said, "Okay." So then she had to change the ticket. So it ended up costing me $600 to change her ticket, but I couldn't let her not go. So we went
Yeah,
to Switzerland for like a week. That was really kind of fun, but it
pretty
did make
good
it hard
first
to come
date.
up with it. Did make it hard to come up with a second date. You know,
And that's okay.
yeah.
But, you know, um, I know it's 9, but we're going to go a little bit longer because we started late. But I just think that you've had such an interesting life. You really have. And you always say that people are just randomly nice to you.
They
Well,
are.
They are. But it's because you're nice. And I mean, because I'm not friends with that many people, like, you know, the good friends that
Well,
we are.
yeah, but a lot of people need to actually hang around with me a little bit more before they like me. You know, because I say some
Well, but we
weird
didn't.
stuff. No,
But I
well,
mean,
we we were friends
we were
instantly.
friends. Yeah. Like, boom. And I'm so glad because, you know, you're somebody that you respect me, you respect my husband, you are never untoward. You're always just really a great person. And, you know, I think that it's really special the friendship that we have. And I appreciate that.
Oh, me too.
And we
Matter of fact,
both love to.
if you didn't call me, nobody else would. I get
That's
like
not true.
I get 2 phone calls a day. One from you, one from Cash. And
Well,
what I say to
by the
Cash
way,
is my little
Cash did some
brother.
stuff on Facebook. Cash is his little brother. Little.
Yes.
But and he is such a nice man. And if you
He
ever
is.
want to buy a house in Vegas or LA, that's your guy. But that's
Yeah,
dinner, Cash.
he's
But
honest as the day is long too.
he is, and he's nice.
Yeah.
And he was what, the world champion, heavyweight kickbox champion of the world, right?
Yeah, and he was ranked 13th in the world as a cruiserweight professional boxer. And he retired from both of
Okay.
them undefeated.
Now I didn't know that.
Yeah, never lost a fight
That's pretty tremendous.
until I threw him over the fence.
There's that.
Of course, he was only 13 at the time.
Yeah. And that was so funny on my show that night. I did not jump over that fence. I was thrown over. He threw me over it. That was that was nuts. That was so funny.
Yeah, but see what they don't understand, it was a 6 foot high picket fence.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I pushed him over one of them little low ones. I picked him up and went, woof.
With a Doberman on the other side.
No, a Great Dane.
Great Dane.
Yeah.
I knew that.
And Tubby chomped on him. Thought he was a burglar.
But you also saved him from drowning when
I
he was a
did.
baby. So
Matter of fact.
all
Should I
about
tell him that?
balance.
Yeah. It's when we lived in Oregon, he was a little toddler. He was maybe a year and a half old. Well, he's still wearing
Yeah.
diapers, so I don't know how old he was.
Oh, probably a year and a half is right.
Yeah, because that's what I was able to see. His mother, we have different mothers, me and Cash. My dad and the guys at this place had built a wooden raft with a high dive. Well, it's maybe 8 feet high, it wasn't really that high, but it was a wooden raft. And I was out there and I swam out to the raft. I don't know why I swam like a dog. Did you see that? I swam out to the raft. But I got out there and Gay,
I
Cash's
like how
mother,
you do that.
she decided to take Cash out to the raft.
Swimming platform, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly sizable. And there's some of my friends were out there, and she starts swimming. And she was a good swimmer. She was a swimmer in college, and she's swimming sideways because she's got one arm full of Cash, and 2 dogs, Major and Baron. They were part German Shepherd and part Great Dane. These were monster dogs, right? And they decided they wanted to come out and play, and they were paddling after her, and they got about halfway there, and these are big, hairy dogs, right? And they
Yeah.
realized they're not swimmers, so they went for the closest thing to try and get hold of, and it was her. And these 2
Right.
big dogs are just clawing away, and they knocked Cash loose, and he's sunk. And she's trying to fight him off, and she's yelling for Cash. And I saw what happened, so I dove in the water, took a big, deep breath, and dove down. I was 13 at the time. And I'm looking for
Right.
him, and I'm looking for him, and I'm out of breath, and I'm thinking, oh, this. And right then I looked down, I saw a spot of white up ahead on the floor. So I started swimming, and it was him. And I'll never forget this. It's one of the coolest things in my life. He was sitting like Buddha does, you know how they get their legs bent in front of him?
Yeah.
And he looks up and he sees me, and he goes,
Yeah.
like baby down. So I snagged him and brought him up. You know, it's not. I was way out of breath, but I wasn't gonna let him
Yeah.
drown. But when I brought him up, his mother was freaking out and everything else, and I went, "Hey, look what I got! I brought a kid on the
Yeah.
bottom."
And
So,
the rest, as they say, is history.
well, you know what? I don't think I told you this about how many people I had to clear out of the pool during the hurricane,
Yeah.
during the tornado. But I had counted. This isn't trying to make myself feel big, because it's not. But I have this weird thing that I am drawn to where I can help somebody,
You
and
are.
I have saved roughly 14 people from dying. That's weird. It's really
That's
strange.
not weird. That's cool.
And then if you add up the couple hundred people from the pool that I got them out
Yeah.
before the lightning and the tornado hit it, but the other ones were
All
all
because
hands
you
down.
wanted a sandwich
No,
and
I didn't want a
a Coke,
sandwich. I wanted a Hershey bar and a Coke.
candy bar. Yep.
Candy bar and a Coke. Well, what
Usually it's a
happened?
sandwich.
Yeah, well,
You
might
got
have been.
you got
Might
4
have been.
minutes.
Oh no, but the thing about that was when they all these people showed up. A lot of them were gangbangers, right? And it was like 100 degrees out, and none of the other lifeguards showed up. Now, state law, you can't watch more than 50 people, and there was a
Yeah.
couple hundred there. So the boss came out and I said, "Dude, you got to get 150 of these people out of here because I can't watch them." Right? I'll do my best.
Yep.
I'll jog around the thing and keep an eye out, but this is dangerous, right? He
Yep.
says it's okay. He says it's okay. I'll try and get somebody else here, as quick as we can, and just do your best. And I said, I'm telling you, I'm not going to be responsible if somebody drowns, right?
Yep.
So I'm sitting up on the high thing, and I'm trying to think, well, how am I going to get out of this? And I see lightning in the distance, and I go,
Yep.
lightning, yes. And everybody's afraid of being in the pool. There's lightning, so I'm like, all right,
Yep.
let's go. And it took me about 20 minutes to get them all out, because there's a lot of posturing and posing by the gangbangers. And I was like, hey, you want to stay in the water? I don't care. Everybody else is leaving. When it hits the ground, boom, that's it for you, right? What?
Yep.
It's the way it works, right? So anyway, they got the
Yep.
thing all out, and I went next door, which was right across the alley, to a place called Kroger's, and I got myself a Coke, and I got myself a candy bar and a sandwich, whatever it was. And I came out, and it was pitch black, and I could hear boom, boom. And I was like, what the hell is that? And I figure it's the rainstorm, right?
Yep.
And lightning is flashing, and I look down and I see trees flying across the way, and I went, what? Right? And then I look and I see it's a tornado, right?
Yep.
100 yards away from me. So I took off running, which is the field house was made out of stone, and it was maybe 40 yards ahead of me, 50 yards. And I took off like Carl Lewis, man. I was flying. And I got inside. Just as I went inside, you heard boom, another tree hit the field house. And I mean, just shook it. And finally, it was all over and it went away. And we went outside and looked. And there was a tree that had torn through the side of the fence on the side, and went into the pool. It was like,
Yep.
nobody was hurt. And they said, well, the lifeguard cleared the pool. Well, he's such a hero. And I was like, wanted a sandwich.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Just
Yes, I'll take that. Thank you.
I wasn't a hero. I wanted a sandwich. So,
Yeah.
but
Well,
the
we have
the whole time they had to replace it, they had to pay me.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
But
none
we
of the
have
other
to go, or
lifeguards
I'm
got
not going to
paid.
be able to replay this show.
Let's see
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you enjoyed Rick. He'll be back. And next week, same cat time, same cat channel. Be blessed. Thank you.
See ya.